Hello, I'm Dr. James Whittaker, and today I'm going to show you exactly how I helped a 64-year-old patient completely transform his life using a precise, lab-based hormone optimization approach. What I'm about to share isn't theory. It's real results from a real patient whose hormone levels were completely devastated, leaving him feeling like a shadow of his former self. 3 months ago, Richard walked into my office feeling defeated. This successful businessman who had once been energetic, confident, and sexually vibrant was now struggling to get through each day. His energy was gone, his libido had disappeared, he was gaining weight despite eating less, and he felt mentally foggy and depressed. His previous doctor had told him this was normal aging and offered him antidepressants. But Richard knew something deeper was wrong, and he was right. Today, I'm going to walk you through Richard's complete transformation using the exact lab tests, protocols, and strategies that took him from feeling like he was dying to feeling better than he had in 15 years. If you're over 60 and experiencing similar symptoms, or if you've been told that feeling exhausted and depressed is just part of getting older, what I'm about to reveal could change your life forever. The hidden hormone crisis destroying men. After 60. Before I dive into Richard's specific case, let me explain the hormone catastrophe that's silently affecting millions of men over 60. Most doctors completely miss this because they're using outdated reference ranges and testing methods that were designed for much younger men. Here's the shocking truth. By age 60, the average man has lost 50% of his testosterone production compared to his peak levels in his 20s. But testosterone is just one piece of a complex hormonal puzzle. Growth hormone production drops by 75%, thyroid function often declines significantly, cortisol regulation becomes disrupted, and insulin sensitivity deteriorates dramatically. What makes this crisis even more devastating is that these hormonal changes don't happen in isolation. They create a cascade of problems that feed on each other. Low testosterone leads to increased body fat, which increases estrogen production, which further suppresses testosterone. Declining growth hormone reduces muscle mass and bone density while increasing fat storage. Thyroid problems slow metabolism and energy production. It's a downward spiral that conventional medicine treats with symptom management rather than addressing the root cause. Richard's story is unfortunately typical. At 64, he was experiencing what I call the great hormonal collapse. His symptoms had developed gradually over several years, which is why he and his previous doctors had dismissed them as normal aging. But there's nothing normal about feeling exhausted, losing your sexual vitality, gaining unwanted weight, and struggling with depression and brain fog. Let me paint you a complete picture of Richard's condition when he first came to see me. Richard had been a high-energy executive his entire career, known for his sharp mind, competitive drive, and physical vitality. He'd always maintained good health, exercised regularly, and took pride in his appearance and performance both professionally and personally. But over the past 3 years, everything had changed. Richard's energy levels had plummeted to the point where he needed afternoon naps just to function. His motivation and drive, qualities that had defined his entire career, had evaporated. He found himself avoiding social situations and had lost interest in activities he'd previously enjoyed. His sexual health had deteriorated dramatically. Morning erections had disappeared entirely, his libido was virtually non-existent, and intimate moments with his wife had become rare and unsatisfying. This was causing tremendous strain on his 30-year marriage and devastating his self-confidence. Physically, Richard was experiencing rapid changes that alarmed him. Despite eating the same diet that had maintained his weight for years, he'd gained 25 pounds, mostly around his midsection. His muscle mass was visibly declining, and he felt weak and soft in ways he'd never experienced. Sleep had become elusive. He'd lie awake for hours, then wake up feeling exhausted, regardless of how long he'd been in bed. Mentally, Richard was struggling with brain fog, memory problems, and what he described as feeling like I'm thinking through molasses. His previous sharp, analytical mind felt dull and unreliable. He was also experiencing mood swings and periods of depression that were completely foreign to his normally optimistic personality. Richard's previous doctor had run routine labs that supposedly showed everything was normal for his age. But when I reviewed those results, I immediately saw the problem. They'd only tested a fraction of what needed to be evaluated, and they were using reference ranges that essentially guaranteed that hormonal decline would be missed. If you're serious about optimizing your health and vitality after 60, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. I share cutting-edge hormone optimization strategies every week that could literally transform your life. When I sat down with Richard to review these results, the picture became crystal clear. His symptoms weren't due to normal aging. They were the result of multiple hormone deficiencies and imbalances that were completely treatable. His low testosterone explained the loss of energy, motivation, muscle mass, and sexual function. The thyroid problems were contributing to his weight gain, brain fog, and fatigue. His poor growth hormone status was accelerating the loss of muscle and increase in fat. The cortisol dysregulation was disrupting his sleep and contributing to his mood problems. And the developing insulin resistance was creating a metabolic environment that made all the other problems worse. But here's what was most important. These weren't separate, unrelated problems. They were all connected in a complex web of hormonal interactions. Simply addressing one hormone in isolation, which is what most doctors do, wouldn't be sufficient. Richard needed a comprehensive, coordinated approach that addressed all of these imbalances simultaneously. The Comprehensive Hormone Optimization Protocol. Based on Richard's lab results and clinical presentation, I designed a multi-phase protocol that would systematically address each hormonal imbalance while supporting his body's natural hormone production. Phase 1, Foundation Building, weeks 1-4. Before starting any hormone replacement, we needed to optimize Richard's basic physiology to support hormone production and utilization. Nutrition protocol. I put Richard on a structured eating plan designed to improve insulin sensitivity and provide the nutrients needed for hormone production. This included intermittent fasting with a 16.8 eating window to improve insulin sensitivity, high-quality protein at every meal to support muscle preservation and hormone synthesis, healthy fats including omega-3s, monounsaturated fats, and some saturated fats needed for hormone production, low glycemic carbohydrates timed around exercise to optimize insulin sensitivity, elimination of processed foods, sugar, and foods that could interfere with hormone function, targeted supplementation, vitamin D3, 5,000 IU daily. His level was 28 mg, optimal is 50-80. Magnesium glycinate, 400 millinars before bed to support testosterone production and sleep. Zinc, 15 millinars daily to support testosterone synthesis. Vitamin K2, 100 mg daily to work synergistically with D3. Omega-3 fatty acids, 2,000 millinars daily to reduce inflammation and support hormone production. Sleep optimization. We implemented strict sleep hygiene protocols, including consistent wake times, blue light blocking glasses in the evening, room temperature optimization, and blackout curtains. Exercise. I prescribed a specific combination of resistance training and high-intensity interval training designed to stimulate natural hormone production while preserving muscle mass. Phase 2, Thyroid Optimization, weeks 5-8. Given Richard's thyroid issues, we needed to address these before optimizing his other hormones, as thyroid function affects the metabolism of all other hormones. I prescribed levothyroxine, 50 mg daily to address the TSH elevation, liothyronine, T3, 5 mg twice daily to address the low free T3 and elevated reverse T3, selenium, 200 mg daily to support thyroid hormone conversion and reduce inflammation. Iodine protocol. Carefully monitored iodine supplementation given his autoimmune markers. We also implemented additional dietary changes to support thyroid function, including elimination of goitrogenic foods and optimization of his iodine to selenium ratio. Phase 3, Testosterone Optimization, weeks 9-12. Once Richard's foundation was solid and his thyroid was optimizing, we began testosterone replacement therapy. Given his age, symptoms, and lab values, I recommended testosterone cypionate, 120 milliliters weekly, divided into 2 doses of 60 milliliters each. Human chorionic gonadotropin, HCG, 500 IU twice weekly to maintain testicular function and prevent shutdown. Anastrozole, 0.25 milliliters twice weekly is needed to prevent excess estrogen conversion. We'd monitor this carefully with labs. The key was starting with conservative doses and monitoring closely with follow-up labs to ensure we achieved optimal levels without side effects. Take a moment right now to leave a comment below telling me what symptoms you're experiencing that might be related to hormone imbalances. Your experience could help other viewers recognize similar patterns in their own health. Phase 4, Growth Hormone and Adrenal Support, weeks 13 to 16. For Richard's low IGF-1 and adrenal issues, I implemented growth hormone support, sermorelin, 300 mg daily before bed to stimulate natural growth hormone production, GABA, 500 milliliters before bed to enhance growth hormone release during sleep, arginine and ornithine, taken before bed to support growth hormone production, adrenal optimization, DHEA, 25 milliliters daily to address his severe deficiency, adaptogenic herbs including rhodiola and ashwagandha to help regulate cortisol, phosphatidylserine, 100 milliliters daily to help normalize cortisol patterns, meditation and stress management techniques to address chronic stress. Richard's transformation over the 12-week protocol was nothing short of remarkable. Here are his follow-up lab results and clinical improvements. Lab results after 12 weeks. Testosterone panel, total testosterone, 750 UNDL, up from 285. Free testosterone, 18.5 pg/ml, up from 8.2. Bioavailable testosterone, 295 DL, up from 145. Estradiol, 35 pg/ml, optimal range for men. Thyroid function, TSH, 1.2 MyUL, down from 3.8. Free T4, 1.4 NDL, up from 1.1. Free T3, 3.6 pg/ml, up from 2.8. Reverse T3, 18 NGDL, down from 28. Growth hormone, IGF-1, 195 ml, up from 95. Metabolic markers and fasting, insulin 6 MIUL, down from 18. Hemoglobin, A1C 5.3%, down from 5.8%. Fasting glucose, 88 amine DL, down from 105. Clinical improvements. Energy and vitality. Richard described his energy transformation as getting my life back. He no longer needed afternoon naps and had sustained energy throughout the day. His motivation and drive returned to levels he hadn't experienced in years. Physical changes. Richard lost 22 pounds of fat while gaining 8 pounds of muscle, resulting in a complete body composition transformation. His strength increased dramatically, and he felt physically capable and confident again. Sexual health. Morning erections returned within 6 weeks. His libido increased significantly, and his sexual performance improved to levels that exceeded his expectations. This had a profound positive impact on his marriage and self-confidence. Mental clarity. The brain fog lifted completely, his memory improved, and his analytical thinking returned to its previous sharpness. Richard said he felt mentally young again. Sleep quality. Richard began sleeping deeply through the night and waking up refreshed for the first time in years. Mood and emotional well-being. The depression and mood swings disappeared, replaced by his natural optimism and emotional stability. One of the most important aspects of Richard's protocol was the careful monitoring and adjustments we made throughout the process. Hormone optimization isn't a set-it-and-forget-it approach. It requires ongoing assessment and fine-tuning. At the 6-week mark, we discovered that Richard's estradiol was climbing higher than optimal, so we adjusted his anastrozole dose. At 10 weeks, his thyroid levels had improved so much that we were able to reduce his T3 dose slightly to prevent over-replacement. We also made adjustments based on how Richard felt, not just lab numbers. When his energy dipped slightly at week 8, we increased his DHEA dose and added some targeted B vitamins, which resolved the issue quickly. This individualized, responsive approach is what separates effective hormone optimization from cookie-cutter protocols that often fail to deliver results. After achieving Richard's initial optimization goals, we transitioned to a long-term maintenance approach designed to preserve his results while monitoring for any changes that might require adjustments. Richard now follows a simplified protocol: testosterone, 100 millimeters weekly, reduced from 120 millimeters as his natural production improved; HCG, 500 IU twice weekly; thyroid medication, adjusted based on quarterly labs; targeted supplements, streamlined to essential support nutrients; lifestyle maintenance, continued adherence to the nutrition, exercise, and sleep protocols. We monitor Richard's labs every 3 months initially, then every 6 months once everything stabilizes. This allows us to catch any changes early and make adjustments before symptoms return. One concern Richard initially had was the cost of the comprehensive hormone optimization program. The lab tests, medications, and supplements represented a significant monthly investment. However, when we calculated the real costs, the value became obvious. Before treatment, Richard was spending money on multiple doctor visits for various symptoms, prescription medications for depression and sleep, over-the-counter supplements that weren't working, lost productivity due to fatigue and brain fog, potential future medical costs from metabolic dysfunction. After treatment, Richard's healthcare costs actually decreased while his quality of life and productivity increased dramatically. He calculated that the improvements in his work performance alone more than paid for the entire protocol. But beyond the financial considerations, Richard frequently says that putting a price on feeling like himself again would be impossible. The return of his vitality, confidence, and zest for life has been priceless. Richard's success story is unfortunately not typical, and that's because most approaches to hormone optimization are fundamentally flawed. Let me explain the critical mistakes that cause most hormone replacement attempts to fail. The first major mistake is treating hormones in isolation. Most doctors will prescribe testosterone without considering thyroid function, growth hormone status, or adrenal health. Since all hormones work together in complex interactions, addressing only one piece of the puzzle rarely produces optimal results. The second mistake is using inadequate testing. Standard hormone panels miss crucial information like free hormone levels, conversion markers, and binding proteins. Without comprehensive testing, you're essentially flying blind. The third mistake is using reference ranges designed for sick people rather than optimal levels for vitality. A testosterone level of 350 NU/DL might technically be normal, but it's nowhere near optimal for a man who wants to feel his best. The fourth mistake is ignoring lifestyle factors that affect hormone production and utilization. You can't optimize hormones with replacement therapy alone while maintaining habits that suppress natural hormone production. The fifth mistake is inadequate monitoring and adjustment. Hormone needs change over time, and what works initially may need modification as your body responds to treatment. What Richard discovered, and what many of my patients find surprising, is that hormone optimization provides benefits that extend far beyond relieving the obvious symptoms that brought them to treatment. Cardiovascular health. Optimal hormone levels, particularly testosterone and thyroid hormones, support healthy cholesterol profiles, blood pressure regulation, and overall cardiovascular function. Richard's cardiovascular risk markers improve significantly during treatment. Bone health. Testosterone, growth hormone, and thyroid hormones all play crucial roles in maintaining bone density. Richard's DEXA scan after 1 year showed improved bone mineral density compared to his baseline. Cognitive protection. Optimal hormone levels support brain health and may reduce the risk of cognitive decline and dementia. Richard's cognitive improvements weren't just about feeling better in the moment, they represented protection for his long-term brain health. Immune function. Hormones play crucial roles in immune system regulation. Richard found that he got sick less frequently and recovered more quickly from minor illnesses after optimization. Longevity markers. Many of the changes we achieved in Richard's labs, improved insulin, sensitivity, optimal hormone levels, reduced inflammation, are associated with increased health span and lifespan in research studies. Throughout Richard's treatment, several concerns and misconceptions arose that are common among men considering hormone optimization. Will I become dependent on hormone replacement? The truth is that most men over 60 already have some degree of hormone deficiency due to natural aging. Hormone replacement is addressing an existing deficiency, not creating dependence. However, once you start feeling optimal, you're unlikely to want to return to feeling deficient. Are there cancer risks with testosterone replacement? Current research shows that testosterone replacement in men with low levels does not increase prostate cancer risk and may actually be protective when properly monitored. Richard's prostate markers actually improved during treatment. Will hormone replacement shut down my natural production? With proper protocols, including HCG, most men maintain some natural production. Even if natural production decreases, the total hormone levels are much higher than before treatment. Is this natural or am I cheating somehow? Hormone replacement is restoring levels to what they should be for optimal health. There's nothing more natural about accepting hormone deficiency than there is about correcting vitamin deficiencies or other nutritional imbalances. Not everyone is an ideal candidate for comprehensive hormone optimization, and Richard's case illustrates the characteristics of men who tend to get the best results. Ideal candidates are typically men over 50 who have multiple symptoms consistent with hormone deficiency, lab work confirming suboptimal levels, commitment to lifestyle changes that support the protocol, and realistic expectations about the process and timeline. Richard was an excellent candidate because he had clear symptoms, lab work that showed multiple hormone imbalances, willingness to make dietary and lifestyle changes, and understanding that this was a long-term commitment to his health rather than a quick fix. Men who aren't good candidates include those with unrealistic expectations, unwillingness to make lifestyle changes, certain medical conditions that contraindicate hormone replacement, or those looking for shortcuts without addressing underlying health issues. If Richard's story resonates with you and you're experiencing similar symptoms, here's exactly what you need to do to begin your own hormone optimization journey. Step 1. Get comprehensive hormone testing. Don't accept routine labs that only test a few basic markers. You need a complete picture including testosterone, total, free, and bioavailable, thyroid function, TSH, free T4, free T3, reverse T3, growth hormone markers, IGF-1, adrenal function, cortisol, DHEAS, and metabolic markers, insulin, glucose, A1C. Step 2. Find a healthcare provider who specializes in hormone optimization, not just hormone replacement. You need someone who understands the complex interactions between different hormone systems and takes a comprehensive approach. Step 3. Be prepared to make lifestyle changes. Hormone optimization isn't just about taking medications or supplements. It requires attention to diet, exercise, sleep, and stress management. Step 4. Commit to the process. Hormone optimization takes time, and you may not feel dramatic improvements for several weeks. Richard didn't start feeling significantly better until week 6-8 of his protocol. Step 5. Plan for long-term monitoring and maintenance. Hormone optimization isn't a short-term treatment. It's a long-term commitment to maintaining optimal health and vitality. As we conclude Richard's story, I want you to understand that his transformation began with a single decision. The decision that feeling exhausted, depressed, and sexually dysfunctional at 64 was not acceptable, and that normal aging was not an excuse for poor quality of life. Richard could have continued accepting his declining health as inevitable. He could have relied on antidepressants and other symptom management approaches that his previous doctor recommended. Instead, he chose to investigate the root causes of his symptoms and address them comprehensively. That decision has given Richard back his vitality, his confidence, his sexual health, his mental clarity, and his zest for life. At 65, he now feels better than he did at 50, and he's optimistic about maintaining this vitality for decades to come. The same transformation that Richard experienced is available to you. The technology, knowledge, and treatments exist to help most men over 60 achieve hormone levels and vitality that were unimaginable just a few decades ago. The question isn't whether hormone optimization works. Richard's results and those of thousands of other men prove that it does. The question is whether you're ready to make the commitment to your health and vitality that this approach requires. Your best years don't have to be behind you. With proper hormone optimization, many men find that their 60s, 70s, and beyond are among the most energetic, confident, and satisfying years of their lives. Thank you for following Richard's journey with me. If you're ready to begin your own transformation, start with comprehensive testing and find a provider who understands the complex, individualized approach that real hormone optimization requires. I'll see you in the next video where we'll explore more cutting-edge strategies for optimal health and vitality after 60.